couple of things. The first thing is assuming if we have multiple columns in the file and we want to read multiple columns. So I am going to uh, take this file and add multiple columns here. So I'm just going to say, so 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I have added a full column basically. Now I will save it. So it gets saved. Okay, now go back. It's still there. Now I want to read both the columns. So if you look at this code, this is where I am actually reading the file. Okay, now if I want to read the file, so I can do it in several ways. So I say I want, say this is basically velocity 2. So I call it velocity 2 essentially. And then I can do this essentially. So I can do, say, uh, let's see, I wanted velocity 2. So I can read the first value here. Okay. And then I can also do, either I can do this 2, and then I can output, right. I can do set W, right, and then add velocity 2 here. So let's see if that actually works. But if you have multiple columns, oops, oh, it writes it outside. So there you go. So it writes the 1, 2, 3, 4 till 26 on the fourth column. You know, I can output it if required, but in this case, I'm writing to file. So it will first read it and then write it to file. So if you look at this, all these values have been written and they have been put outside. Now, assuming I wanted this to be an integer, so I could say int, I can do, and write it out. So if you look at the written output, all of these become integers essentially. So this is a new column that is actually added, which actually is aligned to the right, which is reading from this file these values. Now, assuming I have more than one, you know, so if I have more than one values, I can say 100, you know, 200, 300, 400. So I'm just going to write all these values out there. 600, 700, 800, so 900, 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000, 2100, oops, 2200. So this is being read from the file. Now, if I wanted to display, like assuming I wanted to display these values before I write them, then I can do an, so I have saved this. So this is saved now. So I'm assuming I have only one more, I want another column. So what I can do is I can add the same thing that I was doing here, but I can add, I can say, okay, I want velocity 2, and then I want velocity 3. Assuming that was the third column, velocity 3. I can do, so 3, and then I'm just going to arrange this way so it can actually be, take this, velocity 3, and then run it. So let's see if it actually reads it and puts another column in there. There you go. It read it and put another column in there for the value. Oh, this doesn't, it has, let's see. So it has messed up my file. So let's see what's wrong. So I have all these values that I have read. Now I want to debug something like this. Now I say int velocity 3 because I am not reading velocity 3. So if I read velocity 3, then it will put that in the file. So let's see. Oh, there you go. So it puts it in the file. Now there are two ways. Either you can read it in the while, or if you want to do something different, what you can do is you can actually say in file and you can read them here with no problem. So this also will work the same way, you know. So there you go. So this is basically reading it. So you are piping it here, and then you can end up reading it that way. So let's look at the file output. It still gives me the same output. Now I want to switch the outputs. So assuming velocity 3 is first and velocity 2 is next, basically this next value. That means I say this is velocity 3 and I say this is velocity 2. So I want to switch the order. So let's see. I can run it and if I look at the output, it switches the order. So there are several ways. Either you can read it while you're reading the while, but it becomes too long, or you can read it within the loop, up to you. So this is basically, it moves the pointer to the first value. This moves the pointer to the second value. This moves the pointer to the third value, basically. So this is actually moving the pointers over. That means that's the value that is actually reading. Perfect. There you go.